Well, hello and welcome back to Applied Anatomy and Physiology AAP 301 for the College of Natural Health Sciences, Bermuda. I am your professor, Dr. Delcina Bean Burrows, and this is lecture number 4. Now, lecture 4 is at the end of the first module of classes that we have here at the College of Natural Health Sciences, Bermuda. And think about that. 4 weeks have gone by already, so I know you all are very excited about your upcoming break, and trust me, so am I. And so let's get started with today's lecture. So we are looking at Chapter 4 of the Archer and Nelson Applied Anatomy and Physiology textbook, and we're going to be looking at the body membranes and the integumentary system. The learning objectives for today's lecture are, upon completion of this chapter, the student will be able to discuss the importance of understanding the anatomy and physiology of the integumentary system as it relates to the practice of manual therapy, explain the functions of the integumentary system, and discuss the links between the integumentary and nervous systems and the importance of touch for neurological development and overall health. So let's talk about the integumentary system, which is the skin. The skin often reveals our inner workings and general health. In most manual therapies, the skin is the primary interface with clients. Therapists may feel many differences in a client's skin. Clients feel status of their tissue and the quality of the therapist's touch. Let's look at the membranes. The membrane is a broad, flat sheet of at least 2 layers of tissue. The body has 4 primary types of membranes. 1 of primarily connective tissue and 3 of epithelial tissue. Let's now discuss connective tissue membranes. The synovial membranes line fibrous connective tissue capsules inside of joints. They are composed of 2 layers, the thick fibrous connective tissue layer on the outside and the thin internal layer of simple epithelium. The synovial fluid that is secreted by the epithelial layer helps to reduce the friction and the wear and tear to the bone ends. Let's discuss epithelial tissue membranes. Comprised of a layer of epithelial tissue and attached to the connective tissue of the layer is the basement membrane. It is capable of rapid regeneration, and it is ideal for protecting organs and lining body cavities and passages. There are 3 types of epithelial tissue: mucous, serous, and cutaneous. The mucous membranes line the cavities open to the external environment. They line the respiratory, digestive, urinary, and vaginal tracts. They secrete mucus, and they help protect against invading pathogens. They help warm and humidify air on its way to the lungs, and in digestive and urinary and vaginal tracts, they protect against wear or erosion. The serous membranes are found in cavities without openings to external environments. They are folded into 2 distinct layers, the parietal layer, which lines the cavity, and the visceral layer, which covers the organs. There is space between the layers, which contains a serous fluid, and the serous fluid provides lubrication to reduce friction between layers, allowing smooth movement. The cutaneous membrane is the body's outer covering and the primary organ of the integumentary system. It consists of stratified layers of epithelial tissue, and it is attached to thick connective tissue layers. The integumentary system is comprised of the cutaneous membrane and accessory organs, which include the hair, the nails, the pseudoreference glands, which are also referred to as the sweat glands, the sebaceous oil glands, and the sensory receptors. The functions of the skin are protection, temperature regulation, excretion and absorption, serving as a general sensory organ, and synthesis of vitamin D. And here we have an illustration of the skin which shows the layers, which are the external epithelial, the deeper dermal, and the subcutaneous layers. Let's now talk about the epidermis. The epidermis is composed of the stratum squamous epithelium. 90% of the cells are keratinocytes. The epidermis has 5 stratas: the horny layer, which is the stratum corneum, the clear or glassy layer, which is the stratum lucidum, the granular layer, which is the stratum granulosum, the spiny layer, which is the stratum spinosum, and the germinating layer, which is the stratum germinativum. The epidermis continually renews and replaces itself. Melanocytes produce dark pigment that protects the skin from UV rays or ultraviolet rays. Malignant melanoma is a serious skin cancer condition. The warning signs are for the mole, asymmetry, indistinct border, black or brown color, large diameter. Breaks in the skin may allow pathogens to enter. As manual therapists, we need to take the proper precautions. We want to minimize the risk of allergic responses to emollients. We want to avoid blocking skin pores or glands with emollient. We want to attend to ingredients and purity of products applied during exfoliation and wraps. And we want to be cautious with hydrotherapy treatments that open pores and enhance skin absorbency and excretion. Now let's talk about the dermis. The dermis is the skin layer housing blood and lymph vessels, nerves, and accessory organs. Collagen and elastin fibers are what make the skin extensible and elastic. There are 2 regions of the dermis, the papillary region and the reticular region. Now let's discuss the subcutaneous layer. The subcutaneous layer is also known as the hypodermis or the superficial fascia. It attaches the skin to underlying tissues and organs. It contains adipose tissue that insulates the body and stores energy. The subcutaneous layer is rich with blood and lymph vessels, nerves, and sensory receptors. Let us now discuss the accessory organs such as the hair and the nails. The hair and the nails serve as protective functions to the body. Genetics, hormone production, and nutrition influence the pattern of hair distribution over the body. The shape and color of nails may indicate systemic disorders. Nails may be yellow, pitted, or ridged, or more concave or convex. Signs caused by blood, respiratory, or thyroid disorders can be detected by looking at the nails. The sebaceous glands secrete oily or waxy fluid called sebum. Sebum helps keep skin soft and pliable. It inhibits growth of certain bacteria. Most sebaceous glands are connected to hair follicles. Sebaceous gland activity increases in adolescence. The pseudoreference glands secrete sweat through the pores of the skin. They support homeostasis by helping to regulate body temperature, water balance, and the elimination of metabolic byproducts. There are two types: the eccrine glands, which are the primary sweat glands for thermal and water regulatory ability, and the apocrine glands, which are concentrated in the axilla, the groin, areolar breast tissue, and the beard area. Let's now talk about the accessory organs, the sensory receptors. The sensory receptors are a wide variety of sensory organs that are sensitive to touch, temperature, pain, vibration, and pressure. These receptors are present in the papillary zone, and they are sensitive to superficial stimuli. They have free nerve endings, such as the merkel disc and the masseter corpuscles. The receptors in the deeper reticular layer are more sensitive to deep tactile stimulation, and we are referring to the Pacinian corpuscles, the Ruffini corpuscles, and the hair root plexus. Sensory receptors in the skin are connected to nerve cells or fibers that carry information to the spinal cord and brain. Each region of the skin, which is referred to as a dermatome, is correlated to specific nerves and spinal levels. A connective tissue massage aims to create systemic changes via dermatome stimulation. The brain and the skin are intricately linked and cannot be functionally separated. We know that infants and children that are deprived of tactile and movement stimulation often fail to thrive. Research has shown that a profound connection exists between tactile stimulus, emotional well-being, and physiological functions of infants. Infants who received regular massage in the study experienced fewer colds and less diarrhea. They grew faster and gained more weight, and they exhibited less agitation and excitability. Let's just take a moment now to discuss skin diseases and conditions. As manual therapists, you should be familiar with skin conditions and diseases. You may see a skin area on your client that the client may not see. You can monitor changes in skin tone or appearance with your regular clients. You want to avoid direct contact with any broken skin. And as always, you want to refer clients for medical attention when necessary. If you suspect that a client has a contagious skin disorder, you want to reschedule them until after they have had a medical diagnosis and some form of intervention to address the disorder. Always use proper hygiene, sanitary practices, and universal precautions. Some common contagious disorders are fungal infections such as tinea or ringworm, bacterial infections such as staph, viral infections such as herpes simplex or zoster, and parasitic infections such as scabies or lice. Now, when it comes to common non-contagious skin disorders, sometimes direct contact may still be contraindicated. Common non-contagious disorders are acne, eczema, hives, psoriasis, and vitiligo. Now let's talk about the effects of aging on the integumentary system. The signs of aging are easily recognized in the skin and hair. There is general dehydration and a breakdown of collagen and elastin fibers. This causes the dermis to begin to stiffen, wrinkle, and thin. There is usually a decreased production of melanin, which causes the grain of the hair and changes in skin pigmentation, which includes brownish age spots. The skin is generally less able to regenerate and repair itself. So we've reached the end of our lecture, and this is assignment number 4. And in assignment number 4, you're going to list the primary functions of the integumentary system. You are also going to describe the layers of the skin. Also, you're going to state what are the accessory organs and their functions. And you're also going to state what precautions must manual therapists take when interfacing with a client's skin. And as always, if you have any difficulty whatsoever with this assignment, you may either shoot me an email or send me a text message. My office hours are on Thursdays from 4 to 6 p.m. And with that, do have a great week and a great break coming up following.